Hi guys, Squirrel here, and welcome to my first look video of Train Sim World 5. Obviously, it's the annual update of Train Sim World, and thank you to Dovetail for sending me a key for this so I could bring this to you. Now, it's worth mentioning that Train Sim World 5 comes currently as a free update from previous versions of Train Sim World, but you must claim it by the 17th of October 2024. So if you played Train Sim World on a platform and an account, you can download Train Sim World 5 version from any of the, and it'll have all the previous add-ons that are compatible come with it, including your profile, which you can import. The only thing that you're missing out on are the new routes and locos. However, you can add those later. Once you've claimed that free starter pack, you'll then be able to use the new Train Sim World 5 engine, as well as things like access to the training center, free roam, livery designer, scenario planner, formation designer, creators club, etc. And you get to keep it as long as you claim it before the 17th of October 2024. I will leave all the details about how to do that in a link in the video description. There's a big FAQ on it. But let's get started with my first look at Train Sim World 5 and what's new. First up, the live map has had a big overhaul. Press the 9 key to bring it up, and you'll see it's got a legend. If you press L, it's got a nice legend now. If you hover over a train, it tells you the speed it's going, what its current status is, and what its service name is. So there's our train over here. There's one moving out next to us. There's another one. Additionally, if you zoom in, it actually gives you information about the platform name, all the different platform numbers, and all the tracks that are associated with it. And even better, it actually shows finally the signal direction, so you can actually tell when you're looking at the aspect of a signal whether it affects you or not, because it shows you which direction the line is actually pointed. So that is a rather nice upgrade to the live map. Conductor mode is a new way to play the game, so instead of being the train driver, you're the conductor. This only applies to specific scenarios. What they've done is they've chosen to support specific locos and services in the timetable mode where conductors would be present in real life. Typically, they've only included services with frequent stops to ensure that you have an engaging experience. For example, the West Coast Main Line London Euston to Milton Keynes on the Class 350 in timetable mode, you can easily identify that conductors are supported by the little ticket icon next to the item that you choose. Having chosen the item in the timetable you want with the ticket icon present, you click Get Started, and then you can choose to play as driver or conductor. Comedically, Dovetail seems to spawn you on a different platform to the train that you actually need to be a conductor on, so I often find myself having to sprint across the station, although I would say London Euston looks rather good. Now in conductor mode, you'll have to check tickets, operate doors, clear baggage, and ensure that the train is clear for departure. Each experience is authentic to the route that you're driving on. This includes door operation procedures and driver contact, whether by radio, buzzer, or whistle. Currently, it's supported in San Bernardino Line, West Coast Main Line, London Euston to Milton Keynes, and Frankfurt Fulda, but I'm sure future DLCs will also include conductor mode, and they may even go and retrofit some of the existing stuff. So here, having got on the train as the conductor, I need to open the guard panel, insert the guard key, open the local door, open the main doors, and then that will allow the passengers to... Hello, walking on a bin. That will allow the passengers to get off the train and board the train. At the specified time, we then reverse the procedure, we lock all the doors, and then proceed to check tickets. Don't forget to sound the buzzer, and then start to move people's baggage and check their tickets. Simple case of checking what route they're on, making sure that's where they should be going from and to, and then saying perfect, thank you. Although I don't actually know, if you tell them this isn't a valid train, you need to buy a new ticket, maybe they'll start arguing, but nothing much seems to happen. Now, it doesn't let you check all the passengers on the train, but only specific ones, but it does mean that you do have to learn the stops on the line in order to validate a ticket. Having done all that, you get to sit down and enjoy looking out the window until the next stop. Photo mode has been improved. You access it by pressing escape, options, and go into photo mode. You'll then see some new features, notable of which is the motion blur. So for example, if I slide up the motion blur, you'll notice all the background starts to blur out because the train's moving quite quickly. You can adjust the depth of field, so you can have a focal point at the front here and blur everything else out behind. You can move the focal point along the train length like that. You can rotate the image if you want to. You can adjust the field of view, so widescreen or zoomed in. And then having done all that, you can then adjust the exposure, the saturation, the brightness to get the idea. You can even put a sepia effect on there if you want to, and introduce a grain effect, although I don't know why anybody would. You would do this in Photoshop in post. And then you can also adjust the time of day and, for example, make it so that the ground is covered in perhaps deep snow, or just like a light dusting of snow if you get the settings just right like that. Get a light dusting of snow. Let's put the depth of field back to what it was. And so you can see, you can get some, you just need to have a train and a location, and then by adjusting the time of year and the weather settings, the presets, you can bring a bit of fog in there if you want. You can very quickly construct a screenshot that is quite cool. So if you like making thumbnails or pictures of your favorite trains, that kind of thing, this is a great way to go about it. It's quite a cool little photograph tool. And then you simply press space, save, or save and upload, that kind of thing. And that's how you use the new photo mode. New to Train Sim World 5 is the ability to fast travel. So you can now fast travel between any station along a route without returning to the main menu. First thing you need to do, though, is get off the train. You can't do it if you're the driver of the train inside the locals. You have to get yourself on the platform. Then what you can do is you can press the 9 key on PC to bring up the live map, find a station you want and click on it. But the nicer way of doing it is to press on PC Shift F, F for fast travel, of course. On Xbox, that would be left bumper and Y, and on PlayStation, that would be L1 and triangle. That brings up a list of stations that are on your route. For example, we could go to Watford Junction. Now, if you do that, it'll say, do you want the AI to take over that train? Yep. Do you want to fast travel to Watford Junction Station? Yep. And then what it'll do is it will take us down there. It will obviously have to scenery load and then spawn passengers in. So as you start looking around, you might see it sort of stutter a little bit as it loads in. But that's a great way to explore the line. You can just fast travel to any station on the line. And yeah, it's pretty cool detail, right? So that's fast traveling, Shift F on the PC, but just don't forget to get off the train before you try it. Route hopping is also a new thing. This allows you to jump from one route to another where two or more routes intersect at a particular platform. For example, we're in Glasgow and I can walk around here, and then there's a scenario I can jump on called Double Trouble. And then if I walk over here, there's another scenario that I can jump to, which is the Glasgow to Edinburgh scenario in the 158. At the moment, this seems like not particularly useful. Most people tend to sort of choose what they want from the main menu, but I guess what this is aimed at is you kind of finish a route, and if you happen to get off in a station where you see one of these, you could jump back on to another route without having to go back by the main menu. But new in Train Sim World 5, it's a feature. How much it will be used, I don't know. There are changes to the live screen views, so now when you click on a live screen, it takes you into the screen itself and it presents a virtual cursor. You can use the WASD keys to move around, or a controller, or you can just move your mouse. It effectively locks you into this position so that you can more easily access the keys and the buttons and the functionality, rather than having the train move around and you trying to click on things. It is kind of weird in that you have to press the camera key to get out of it. So I have to press the camera key to come out. There's no sense of, pressing the escape key. The escape key takes you to the main menu, so it doesn't come out of this view. So that's just something to be aware of. And also, I generally don't find these screens are terribly functional anyway in most trains. So I don't find myself in these screens an awful lot. But I guess if they're going to add more trains with more functional screens, then this feature definitely makes some sense. But for now, it's just a kind of a nice to have. So the training center has been reworked. This is where you learn and improve your skills. You can explore the training center on foot. Not really sure why you'd want to do that. You've then got the tutorials where you've got the basics. So if you're kind of new to Train Sim World itself, this will teach you how to adjust, audio settings, how to change camera controls. If you're a bit stuck with the settings, I guess this is the place to start. You've then got train operations, which contains lots of useful information, actually. For example, UK systems, how the DRA works, etc. It teaches you about the different aspects that you will encounter in the UK signalling systems, and then goes on about the German systems, etc., and the US ones. So lots of information in there about just operating a train. Then there's some info about how to work the creative tools. However, they don't appear to have been implemented yet. For some reason, there's no content there at all. And then under gameplay, you've got the same thing. So, I mean, this is a released version of Train Sim World 5, so I can't quite understand why they are not been implemented yet. But train operations is good and basics is great if you're new. Track shadows have apparently been improved, and I think they have if you look at the tracks. It's not as obvious, but you can definitely see shadow draw distance on the platforms there as we move along. But in any event, the track shadowing has been sorted out on specific routes in the training centre, but not all tracks have this big improvement. But like I say, it isn't quite as bad as it was before, but we can still see the platform shadows still have a draw distance on them. There are some other things about migrating from previous versions of Train Sim World. You may have a number of Train Sim World games installed on the same machine without any conflicts. However, you'll need to re-download your add-ons for each game as they do not share files. You'll be able to import any profile that exists on same platform and account from Train Sim World 2 onwards. You can also import custom liveries, scenarios and formations and carry on editing them. They recommend that you keep the latest Train Sim World game installed, however, until you've imported your profile from it. After this, you can then go ahead and uninstall the previous sim if you want to. Train Sim World 5 does not share any achievements with previous games of the series. There's a whole new set of achievements to unlock based on the new content. That is it from me. I hope you enjoyed this very quick first look at Train Sim World 5. Let me know your thoughts and your comments in the comment section below. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I will bring you more content on Train Sim World 5 very soon. Take care, guys. Happy training.